Hi, my name is Mark Monlux, and this is yet another episode of Epic Sketch Time. We are meeting now Tuesdays at 4 o'clock. Be sure to check out the Epic Sketch Time Facebook page to keep up to date on times. Also, you can sign into our weekly reminder email list to get the link to the announcements, or primarily the link to the meetings every week. With me today is Bill, Kevin, and Ian. Gentlemen, why don't you introduce yourselves, say where you're from, and what you're working on today.
Hi, I'm Bill Morse. I'm a illustrator and cartoonist working out of Seattle, Washington. I also do a webcomic called Rhapsodies, and I am currently working on coloring a poster that I've been playing with.
Kevin, you're next.
Sure. Hey, what's up, everybody? Kevin Bakuli, Las Vegas, Nevada. I do logo design and branding. Today I'm working on some pieces to add to my portfolio.
Howdy, everybody. My name is Ian Castruita. You can check out my stuff at unfedartist.com, and my portfolio is at enconline.com. I'm an illustrator, graphic designer, and cartoonist working out of Arizona. Oh, and just working on a comic for Unfed Artists today.
And it looks like Roger just showed up. Roger, a quick introduction. Say your name and where you're from.
Hi there, this is Roger Crown, Spokane, Washington, cartoon animator.
So, Kevin, you have been on Epic Sketch Time more than 3 times. So you now officially get a link in the doobly-doo down below. Send me over your website link that you want to have posted with your name, and we'll start adding you to the list.
Sure.
Now, Roger, you're a frequent visitor too, and you have yet to give me a website link. Do you want to share your Facebook page or anything?
Someday soon, I'm still working on it.
Okay. Kevin, do you direct people to your Behance? Is it pronounced Behance or Beyonce or Beyonce?
Behance. Yeah, that's usually where I direct people.
I think the H is silenced. It's Beyonce, like Beyonce. No, I'm messing with you. Hey, I just found out about ArtStation, which is blowing my mind. I signed up, but I doubt I'll ever get on their front page. But a lot of animation, video game designers are going on ArtStation, so that's kind of my nugget to throw out there for anybody who's curious to check out some amazing stuff.
Oh, indeed. I have a page that I haven't been really using as much as I should be. It's sort of like, considering how good a lot of these people are, I frequently find myself shaming myself.
So what exactly is ArtStation? Is it like a portfolio website? Or
it's kind of, I like to describe it, it is to DeviantArt what LinkedIn is to Facebook.
If I were to like put a hierarchy on it, I'd say DeviantArt, Behance, and then ArtStation as far as like the level of skill and everything. Because I don't know, maybe that's not fair. I think Behance, you could find the type of stuff that you'd find on DeviantArt or ArtStation, but it's a lot more brand, a lot more corporate work. Mm-hmm. ArtStation, from what I've seen so far, is a lot more 3D design, illustration, cartooning, video game. So if you're using stuff like Blender, in any 3D features, you're probably going to find more stuff on ArtStation. But as far as like job opportunities, there is a marketplace, there is a job board on both ArtStation and Behance, as far as I could see. I've never, do they post jobs on DeviantArt?
There's a forum, but it doesn't have the DeviantArt wall. I am aware of a lot of illustrators and cartoonists who use DeviantArt as their professional portfolio. I've never been aware of it, a professional angle beyond what people make of it. I mean, ArtStation's mailing list sends me job opportunities almost daily. I mean, generally, there's hardly anything that on the list that I'm really qualified for, but it's frequent enough that I keep my eye on it.
I've always just seen DeviantArt as fan art.
Oh, definitely. And there's some really good stuff on DeviantArt, but that is barely 5% of what's on it.
Yeah. And I imagine there's people who are trying to create like portfolios on ArtStation that their work probably just doesn't end up on the front page, but you could probably find it if you search for them or whatever.
Right.
But it's definitely a very curated site.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious. So did you post anything up there yet, Ian?
Have I? No. I'm still kind of thinking back to like when I went to the illustration masterclass, which was a few years ago now, and just like the level of art that I saw, people doing over there. And that's definitely the type of stuff that you probably see on ArtStation. But it's something I'd aspire to. I think about this a lot, actually. It's like, I'm so much of a graphic illustrator working on like corporate work that I don't really fall into like the fantasy and the story and the sci-fi stuff, even though I'd love to do that. And then the comics have taken my art in, a completely different direction too. And so
there's a lot of good comic art on ArtStation. If you probably can find it pretty easily if you set your filters up properly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at some amazing stuff that's comic on ArtStation, and so there's probably a place for that if I go more to like a graphic novel format, but I don't know about strip, and I think strip is about what I've been doing for the past couple of years because I've really been trying to push my abilities in that place. But yeah, I mean, it's one of the things that I've always hated about my career is I just allow myself to get caught up in all these things, right? Like I want to do character design. I'd love to do book illustration and children's illustration, right? And you have to pick one and you have to really focus on it. Otherwise, you're not going to be good at any of them. You're just going to be a jack of all trades, master of none. So.
So I went to ArtStation to sign up, and I got entered in for a $100 ArtStation gift card. I wonder what that's going to give me.
Oh, just now?
So.
Yeah, I was actually on LinkedIn trying to flesh out some of the images that I put on LinkedIn, right? Because you could put media on there. You can also connect your LinkedIn profile to your Behance portfolio. But it's so much extra work. It's just because the formatting, the way it displays on LinkedIn, it's not fantastic. And so you kind of want to optimize it to appear good on LinkedIn. And it's like already you're just trying to optimize your work for like, Instagram, your portfolio, and then just all these other sites, it seems like as soon as you're done with your actual project, you're probably only about 75% of the way out of being finished. I mean, even if for just the comic strip, right? Like I still need to, I just released a comic to my patrons yesterday, but I still need to break up the panels into frames or individual frames so I could prep it for, panel by panel viewing on my site and on Instagram. So it used to be you're done and you're done, but not anymore.
Oh, let's see. Looks like I need a special character. I hate using special characters.
Are you making your password or something?
Yeah, I'm making a password.
It sucks about all this, and I know I'm ranting, so tell me to shut up anytime you want, but it's just like, what's next, right? Like, it used to be MySpace, and then it was Facebook, right?
Yeah, how many, let's see. Well, I'm thinking I should just delete my Snapchat account because I never use it.
Yeah, I deleted my Flickr account.
Because I have a pro Flickr account and I still use it as a source of backing up.
I confess that's one reason I never bothered with TikTok.
Yeah, I'm thinking about just deleting my TikTok too, because that and Snapchat, I just don't even bother with them.
Well, I like having the handle on TikTok because I have unfed art on all my other social media platforms.
I suppose it would be good to have your handle there so that nobody else claims it and does a unofficial version.
Yeah, you're basically just parking it, right? But you never know. It might pick up again. You might find a rekindled interest, and there's no cost to just parking your handle there. So so that's my pro tip, everybody. just park your name in places that you don't even plan to use.
Well, I did, I had a MySpace account way back in the day, and I finally deleted it because it was becoming sort of like a haven for spam drops.
Yeah.
And it was not reflecting good on me. But the reason I ended up getting a MySpace account was when I realized that Burger King had a MySpace account, that maybe I should have, Burger King as a MySpace account. Sure, I should have a MySpace account. And I really liked MySpace for a while, but it seems to be very oriented to bands and musicians now. All the features seem really focused on that.
Yeah, I think that's probably true for most platforms. It's like celebrity influencer focused. Well, especially things like Instagram. But TikTok especially, like TikTok was actually designed to be a music kind of platform, and that's why you can, put in music tracks and stuff.
Oh, I did not know that.
I have a question for Mark and Bill. Like, I noticed that your Patreon posts almost synchronize drops at 6 a.m. in the morning. Do you guys plan on that? Is there like a strategy for posting at 6 a.m. versus like
a good time in the day?
Just to have it in there in the morning.
When not counting people who have to rush to get to work at obscene hours, as far as I was concerned, as when morning starts officially.
And is there a way to schedule Patreon posts?
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
I need to look at that.
Matter of fact, all of the things I've been doing for Stickman, I put in 2 months Stickman postings on my Patreon just so that I could let it be on autopilot for a while.
Oh, that's nice.
So yeah, just now, what I do is I look at my analytics on Instagram, and I studied when those received the most positive results to my audiences. And I wanted to include East Coast clients as well as West Coast. Right now, my West Coast clients dominate, but I have an audience in, I almost have as big an audience in Norway as I have on the East Coast right now.
Norway.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Wow.
no, I had some extended, you know, like an eighth cousin once removed. His in-laws are in Norway, and I ended up talking to one of these extended cousins, and he's been sharing my stuff everywhere.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
I mean, I have some following on the East Coast, but that's mainly my family.
So, plus, but what my Instagram was showing was if I scheduled my postings, you know, I had been doing a posting on every Wednesday and then every Friday. But I was noticing that people picked up at those at later days. So I switched my days and times. I went from noon on Thursday and Friday to doing it just on Monday at on Instagram at say 8:30, and I ended up getting just as much responses back from that than I'm doing one post than I did for two posts at the wrong time later in the week. So I would definitely, if you have an Instagram, make sure that you have your business settings set up, check your analytics. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to just get into people's email boxes. The reason I have it set up for 6 o'clock is because of you, Ian. I want to make sure that it's in your mailbox when you wake up first thing in the morning, because I know you're on the East Coast time.
I'm in Arizona, but
Well, I keep forgetting that.
Yeah.
You're not Pacific time. You know, so you're 1 hour farther. It's just 1 hour, right?
Just well during.
No, right now I'm on your time. But
really?
Yeah, I think I used to hear a rule that you wanted to hit people who were going to check their mailboxes at noon and then on their way home. So like 10 and then 3 your time, just to make sure it was in their inbox. But there's that whole, physics of an inbox, right? Like the mail that shows up more recently is at the top, and everything that's like showed up before that gets pushed down. So I mean, for me, it's just like you're overthinking it, right? Like if the content's good, people are going to find it, they're going to check it out. And if it's getting buried in an inbox, which is very possible for pretty much everybody, just like increase your channels of communication. Like, okay, there's an email, and also update people through like Twitter and say, hey, I posted a new update to my Twitter or to my Patreon today. And, you kind of spread the news. So you're hitting as many places as possible, but yeah, I don't know. I think those kind of like those rules that people set up, like, oh yeah, it needs to be Tuesdays and Saturdays at this time and all that stuff. I don't know where people come up with that, because I think demographics change, right? Like, maybe most of my followers are college students, right? None of them are getting up at 6 a.m. I promise you. Absolutely none of them, right? They're probably going to check their email while they're in class at like 10 a.m. or something. So, or when they're waiting in line for some Chipotle or something in the evening. So you kind of have to know your audience, which is why you look at your demographics on your metrics and everything, but also understand the demographics and not just look at the patterns, try to actually say what's causing these numbers, right? At least that's that's the way I'd approach it. But more often than not, I'm just like, you know what? I just want to make good content. I want to push it out there, and hopefully people respond to it. And if I put it in enough places that people read it, then I know that I'm doing my job. Do you post Stickman anywhere else, or is it only on Patreon?
It's currently only on Patreon. I used to have a Stickman website that I updated on a regular basis. But when I stopped updating about 4 years ago, I didn't. My sites have just basically fallen off the planet. So I thought, hey, no, you can't see Stickman anywhere else. I'm going to make it exclusive content for now.
So do you go on Twitter and say, hey, I'm re-releasing Stickman on my for my Patreon backers?
Well, I do have a Stickman Facebook page.
Oh, okay.
And so I've been making little postings there that I should probably go back in and mention that some more. One of the things
I think that's what I need to improve the most is just, my social media outreach, because for the most part, it's just like I update my site, I update Patreon, and then I plan on doing Instagram and Twitter, but it always kind of gets pushed to the side. But that's probably what I really need to focus on more than anything else is, the social media outreach.
I'm filling out this thing for ArtStation, and it says hiring availability. Here's something I don't understand. Okay, full-time employment, I understand that. Freelance, I understand that. Contract. What the hell? I mean, doesn't freelance imply that there should be a contract?
No.
In this case,
No, contractor and freelance are different.
Like long-term temp contracts for firms.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, basically, it's like an employee, but under a contract.
They used to do a lot of those.
I actually, I think I actually did a Google search because not that long ago, I was like, well, what's the difference between contract versus freelance? And I saw a site about that. So.
Yeah, I mean, with contract, it's better to compare it with temping, only with better perks.
So is Adobe XD the whole suite of things?
No.
No.
That's its own program.
Yeah, Adobe Creative Cloud is the entire suite. XD is the user. Wait, is that the conference that you're talking about, or is that?
No, it's asking here for software expertise.
Oh, okay. Yeah, XD is user experience software. So it's basically like mocking up of apps and stuff like that. I haven't dived too deep into it, so if anybody knows more, go ahead and talk.
I took a few classes because it occurred to me that a lot of my old desktop publishing talents were close enough that I could probably fake my way through small assignments. But what I've known since then sort of makes me think it's not really worth the effort of diving in deeper.
Anybody going to Adobe Max?
And considering it's free, I've been considering it a little.
Yeah, I see that the Graphic Artists Guild is one of the supporters this year.
Yeah.
Sponsored, yeah.
So what's that mean for the Graphic Artists Guild? I mean, is
pretty much a marketing opportunity from what I'm told.
But nothing for the members or anything? Like,
well, actually, there is a membership drive going on right now. And what the Graphic Artists Guild is doing is not only if you join or referral, if you are a referral person for somebody who joins, there's a weekly drawing for $100 gift card, and the grand drawing at the end of the pledge of the membership drive is a year free of Creative Cloud.
Nice.
And those are going to be open to not only the people that join, but also to the members that refer those new members. Before, it would only be available to people that were joining. But they figured, hey, we got to give these people who have been, been members for a while a way to have some fun in this action and maybe have a little bit of stake in actually referring new people in.
Yeah. So is it just like a raffle of sorts, or do you actually get like more entries for referring more people or something, or
you get more? You get more entries for more referrals of people.
Hmm.
At least that's to my knowledge. I will actually address that question. I could be talking such hot air right now.
Oh, Mark said. Mark said.
But I will put that in, because if you're doing a big, if you're getting people signed up, I think your name should go in multiple times. But Bill, you're on the national board. You should have an idea about this.
Did the light just get brighter in your room, Bill? It seems like you're sweating a little bit.
Let me see.
Check those meeting notes you keep, Bill. Yes, they got me in there. I'm now digging around on my desktop. I write little bio blurbs for myself all the time. And whenever somebody needs a new bio blurb, I have them in various links. And apparently I need a bio blurb summary for ArtStation. See if I have anything handy here.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess it couldn't hurt to go onto my Facebook groups and say, hey, membership drive, everybody. But is there like a referral code or something that?
Well, you have to make sure that there is a spot in the application for them to mark down who referred them.
Oh, okay.
So that has to be again, so much hot air coming from me. I'm pretty sure that's how it is.
So if you see a lot of referrals from Ethan Castruita, just try to think that it might be me. My little brother, he recently he's been getting into 3D modeling, and he's always been into the video game mod scene where people like upgrade these old video game systems so they can run on like the new TVs and have like HDMI outputs and stuff.
Okay.
So he printed like this cool, or he designed actually, and he spent a long time on this, designing like this really awesome mounting platform that you can 3D print for one of these like chip manufactured things that you can get from like I think it's like in Andorra or something. It's that small province that's in between France and Spain. I can't remember what the name of it is.
Angola?
Yeah, thank you.
Here we go.
Belgium?
But anyway, you buy this chip board from there, and you just kind of like set it with hot glue in your old system. And my brother didn't like that, so he made this really nice 3D platform. So he released it, and he got a little bit of buzz. People were like really excited about it. People were making YouTube videos and stuff. And he posted it under his Twitter name, and it just got completely butchered in the YouTube videos. Like his name is Nebla, which is kind of like a reference to his old pets that he had. And people were like, "Oh yeah, from Twitter handle Nebri." I mean, people were making up a whole bunch of stuff. So he didn't get any any love from the referrals on that, but it was fun. He was just throwing it out there for free anyway.
So, Bill, you were saying you got the information.
Okay, let's see. The membership drive is from September 21st to October 12th. It's 3 weeks long. Our goal is to get 25 new members. The theme, again, is advocacy, community, and resources. And the art is by Chrissy, who so there's going to be several premiums, including Creative Cloud membership and $100 Amazon gift cards, along with the Michael Fleshman box, Guild Glide crop masks, and regular pin stickers, and of course the book. What is you also get? Something about cons. More about how to hold banners. Okay, that's mostly what came up in the last meeting.
Did you say that the guild's only trying to get 25 new members?
Where that's our, well, obviously, if we get more, that's fantastic, but that's our goal.
Huh. I would
For
assume
a
it'd been
2-week
larger.
period.
Oh, for 2 weeks. Yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense. Does anybody use Pinterest for like showing their work, or is
I have
it just
a
like me
Pinterest.
where you only use it for reference?
I mainly use it for reference.
I only use it for reference, but I've been hearing enough stories about the potential that I've been trying to figure out how to do that.
Yeah, I mean it's such a kind of just like free for all. Like there's no profiles or anything on it, but I've seen a lot of amazing artwork on it. What about Reddit? Is anybody going on there?
Not for work, but I go there.
I post my cartoons on the 2 of the cartoon pages.
How's that work for you?
I'm not, at the moment, I'm not sure, but it used to be good for at least 10 to 15 hits a day.
Huh. Would you drive traffic to your site and stuff?
Yeah, essentially I post a link on these 2 pages every week, though there is some troll who claims that I'm deliberately downvoting him, which I don't know if there's anything to that or not.
Are you deliberately downvoted?
If the guy gets downvoted when I happen to post, it's completely a coincidence. I mean, yes, I've been looking into new strategies to plug the strip, but I'm not going to do anything on the douche category.
Yeah, I mean, you're not supposed to see who downvotes you, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense to me either. I mean, they keep sending notes, and I don't know how many people are paying attention to them or not. Because it's bizarre. Sometimes I've noticed that if somebody's deliberately making a negative comment, that actually is good for a few hits because people get curious. But at the same time, you want to be very, very careful about where you post. I've experimented with posting on places where that on other subreddits that where the topic of your strip might be relevant, but in those cases you really want to look at the small print for the rules very, very carefully, and even then it can be a mixed bag. For example, I had enough scenes taking place at a goth club in my strip that I experimented with posting a few of those strips there, and I got scolded badly.
Huh.
More of the fortunately it wasn't beyond the what's the point of this, but it sort of stabilized my rule of I need, unless it's specifically a comic subreddit, be completely know exactly what the rules are so you don't get yourself in trouble.
Yeah. I think in general the subreddits that I've seen, like, self-promotion is usually looked down upon.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, off-topic stuff obviously, but yeah, I think if you look at like the funny subreddit or the photos subreddit, like they specifically have rules against webcomics.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, you just have to find the right place for it.
Yeah,
but it's funny, like if somebody likes your stuff and they're not, they post it because they genuinely want to share it, that's okay, right? People are like, oh yeah, thanks for sharing it. But if you're the one that's posting it, your own stuff, it's just seeing like self-promotion, you're just kind of
exactly spamming. I mean, for the most part, I only post on comic subreddit and webcomic subreddit.
I wonder if there's any place to post a mention about the Graphic Artists Guild. I mean, they don't have a subreddit, do they?
No, but it sounds like something I should suggest.
Yeah, but like, I mean, sometimes I go on the freelance subreddit just to kind of like check out things and sometimes answer questions and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
or to ask my own questions too. But yeah, I'm wondering where's a good place to say, hey, the Graphic Artists Guild is having a membership drive.
Yeah, because there's sometimes where there's a few places where I think it might be relevant. For example, I've been considering posting it up on the illustration forum that I've been following. But it felt a little too much like marketing.
Well, it's all marketing.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if you're generally trying to help people and say, hey, the Graphic Artists Guild, does this and that, and it helps people in this way and that way. I think I even saw it on the Graphic Artists Guild marketing. That was just like more than just the book, right? And
yeah,
for whatever reason, the Graphic Artists Guild is trying to say, hey, we're more than just pegs. I guess if you can relate that in your pitch to get somebody to consider joining, that's all for the best.
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody have anything they could show and
Yeah, sure.
share what they're working on?
Yeah, here, just a second. Here we go. Just a second. I think it's going in the right direction. I'm sort of, at the moment, I'm sort of trying to add more shadows. It doesn't feel dark enough.
Have you already laid in all your flats?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What? How did you block in the reflection? Because isn't that going to contain color as well, or is it?
Yeah, I mean, I sort of added the reflection, but then I decided that it would probably be better to do the reflection last. I mean, as far in answer to your question, when it comes up, I blocked out the reflection by making a duplicate and turning it upside down. But I figured, I suddenly realized that I was doing redundancies and should have done that after I finished everything on the top rather than before.
So are you gonna do a warp transform to the reflection so you can match it up? And
exactly.
Okay. Yeah, I'd be curious to see how that looks.
There's a few things at the moment I'm having a few issues with how the edge will work. This area here, so I might delete that part. I'm sort of loosely basing it on a John Bauer illustration that I'm very fond of. If you're familiar with John Bauer's work, he's a Swedish illustrator. He's best known for his trolls. Though, as far as how to do the color and the reflection, I was sort of originally going for wanting to have it, a lot of it mostly in the dark with only the key details, but then I started looking at photo references of woodland reflections in woodland ponds, and most of them were pretty photorealistic to the anyway, that's where I am.
Do you track the time on how long it takes you to do an illustration, Bill?
I've been, as far as keeping myself honest with these side projects, I've been doing them in hour-long segments with the egg timer. And for the most part, it keeps me honest. I'm happy to say this one isn't much more than 5 hours at the moment.
How long is it typically for you to go from start to completion?
Ever since I got the iPad, it's been going a lot faster. So it really depends on the piece. I mean, and considering these are pretty much side projects, which I'm mostly only doing in these afternoons, it's sort of, I haven't been keeping track as much as possible, but I'm sort of making a habit as partially as not just as wasting time on them, but also as a professional exercise. I'm sort of making a point of limiting my time, and the egg timer trick works really well for that.
Yeah, I hear you. That's a great technique that I use also.
Because there's frequently, especially in the tone stage, I can get what's the word, OCD about the minor details, and can waste a whole lot of time on stuff that nobody's going to notice. and sorry, forgot to turn off the share.
Anybody else have anything they could show off before we finish up?
I'm still working on my book illustrations. As a matter of fact, I got a query from the book designer saying, hey, where's the cover? I want to, we can start promoting this book. We have the cover art. And I'm kind of going, well, no one told me that they needed the cover art first. So I guess what I'm working on right now. And I can't show that until they start promoting it. But when they do, I'll show you that. How about you, Ian? You got anything?
You mean besides the comic I'm working on?
Yeah, besides the comic you're working on.
I'm redesigning my my portfolio site, which is either ENC online or iancastruita.com will take you there. But I'm trying to get that finished in the next few days. So if you visit it now, it's just the old site, which is for any of you WordPress folks, it's built on Divi, and I'm trying to transition away from Divi to Oxygen Builder because I like building with Oxygen, but it's also a platform that makes it easier to have fast loading on your website, which tends to be I think people are focused on now, especially for Google search page rankings. Like it seemed like a couple of years ago, the big thing was, is Google going to knock you because your site isn't mobile friendly? So I spent a lot of time working on mobile. Well, now it's like, how fast does your page load? And I was like, great. So I need to focus on that. So that's, that's one of the reasons I'm working on that. But the other reason is like, I used to have Tell It With Comics as kind of like my services lead-in page for corporate work to kind of see what I'm doing. And Tell It With Comics is still existing. It's just, it's solely dedicated to comic work. But I needed my portfolio to be a place where I could also say, hey, I could do production work and I could do all this other stuff. Because too many people told me Unfed Artists as a company name isn't very good. So.
Yeah, it was, I have a story to refer to you about that. And my dad had this idea of helping the obesity problem with children by getting them out and doing more physical stuff. So he spent a lot of money putting together this website as a physical therapist, but he could not let go of the title he came up with, which was Kids Failed Fitness. I mean, if you have a title that has the word failure in it, no one's going to take it seriously. And I kept trying to explain that to him, that the marketing, it was shooting himself in the head from the get-go. So when I speak to you and I'm kind of going, okay, Unfed Artist. Okay, I could see where people would come from that same viewpoint of you're coming off with a negative, even though it's funny. And it's a stereotype. It's sort of like your little private version of Kids Failed Fitness. So.
Yeah. Well, I like it fine for a webcomic name. I mean, I think.
I think it's great for a webcomic name.
Yeah.
But for your business
and it's still the name of my LLC, and I don't have to worry about anybody trying to steal that trademark or anything, right? Like,
hey, I would keep it as your LLC. I think that's great. But as for a company name, I think you still...
it's just me. But I mean, it kind of goes back to what I was, doing some self-mockery earlier on, whereas like, Ian Castruita, I mean, nobody could spell that, right? So when it comes to my website, it's much easier to have ENC online. Hopefully that's the plan anyway.
I can sympathize. One of the biggest challenges in business for me is learning how to keep my self-deprecating sense of humor to myself.
Kevin, and Roger, before we go off, we already lost Roger. Kevin, before we go offline, is there anything that you can show us about what you've been working on?
I didn't draw this today, but one of my friends started a little group to share encouragement, and it was based off of warriors. So I said to myself, "Hey, I'm gonna sketch some." So I drew this a few weeks ago, but this is something I can share. Everything else I can't. So I just drew like a lot of different types of like warriors throughout time. So like the Aztec jaguar. What else did I draw? Samurai. There's a knight down here. A monk. So I just drew these busts of these characters just to see how it would look, because initially he had a Spartan as his logo. So I wanted to see if I could help him expand it, maybe to different, and there's a green beret, to maybe other types of warriors that have similar values to like the warrior mindset that he was trying to convey. So yeah, that's something that I was working on with a friend.
It kind of reminds me of those animation art books. Like I really like the Avatar art book and like the Legend of Korra art book, and they show all like the different character designs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I always find that stuff fascinating.
I still need to pick up the Korra ones. I love the Avatar art book.
You know, it is hard to find the Korra books, at least anything after the first one.
Oh dear. Another
like the second, third, and fourth are just Kindle only, unless you want to spend like $400.
Okay, so I just posted my first piece of art on ArtStation. I put the link into the chat, and we are coming up on the hour mark, gentlemen. So I'm going to say thank you all for coming and making this a very special episode of Epic Sketch Time. And we will be meeting here again next week at 4 o'clock. But before then, I'd like to say that there is going to be a drawing session tomorrow night with Draw with Claw. It starts at 7:30 Pacific. I'll post a link to it on our Facebook page. And on Thursday, Cartoonist Northwest has a drink and draw. And what time is that, Bill?
That is at 6:30.
Why don't you put that link on the Facebook page as well?
Okay.
And then I'm trying to think if there's anything scheduled on the weekend that I know about. But I don't think I'm hosting anything this weekend. But I am on next Saturday. I'm going to be doing
It's 5 o'clock.
1-hour presentation as a primer for people who don't know anything about contracts, provenances, or invoicing. So you guys are probably all caught up on that, but you may want to share that link with some other people. I'm going to be limiting that to just 50 people. And part of the reason I'm doing that is so that when I do further webinars, I'm going to be doing some pay-for webinars that go be in depth on things. And I wanted to kind of build an audience to farm out those leads to.
Yeah, make sure you post it on Facebook, and I'll share it on my company page.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Bye, Kevin.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye, Bill. Bye, Ian.
Bye.
See you all next week.
Have a good
Take care, everybody.